In one of my last video, we developed this beautiful blog landing page. And if you did not watch my previous video of this particular course, then please watch it before watching this course. So in the last video, we developed this header and this search section, this filter section, and this list of blocks. Okay. In this particular video, we are gonna cover how to navigate and see the details of the blog, right? So if I click on any of this particular blog post, it will navigate to the new page and it will show, and you can read the full blog on that particular page. And if you see this page, the page view will look like this. So if you see, right, once I click on any of the post, it will jump on the new page where you will be able to read the whole blog post. Okay, so it's very straightforward, very easy to design, and that's what we are covering in this particular section. So main two topics: how to navigate from one screen to another screen. So for that one, we are using the React router, and then we will implement this particular blog post detail page. Okay, so before doing any further delay, let's begin. So right now we are in our application, right? And in app.jsx we have this information. So what we will do, we have to add the React DOM, okay, in our application. So for that one, let's go to browser and search for this React router, right? This is the official website of React router DOM, where you have to install this React router DOM. So just install this line of command. So we already created the Vite project, right? And we have to install this React router DOM. So I copy this command, open a new terminal, and over here I will paste this line of command. Okay, so it will take few seconds to install all the dependency which is needed for our React router DOM. Now once it installed, right, first thing, you can check the example how it use and everything, right? In this case we are using the browser router. Okay, so there are different components, and each component is meant to be for different purpose. In this case we are using browser router, and if you see, the browser router is basically used to store the current location in the browser address by using the clean URL and navigate using the browser built-in history. Okay, so what we will do in this case, right, for example, if you want to see the blog post, right, you will just type some, for example, blog detail, something like this, slash and the blog ID. Okay, and once you click on that one, you will see the blog. Okay, now let's go back to our application. Here we will replace this react.strict mode with the browser router. Okay, and make sure you will end this tag. Okay, and save it. Make sure everything is running. Okay, and if you see everything as it is, I will remove this one. This is just for the example. Okay, and if you see, everything is running as expected. Now let's go back to our app.jsx, right? So over here we have to add the router. Okay, before that I will create a new page. So here I will create a new page called blog.jsx, a read block, or blog detail. I will say blog detail. Okay, blog detail.jsx. Okay, and I will add the default function. Okay, like this. So here, okay, just a second, we have to change name. We don't need to give the dash over here, so I will just write blog detail. Okay, and now I will add the default function like this. Okay, and save it. Now we have the blog detail page. Okay, now if you go back to app.jsx, here we will add the routes. Okay, which is very important. So first of all, just write routes. Okay, and inside this one we have to give the route in the sense which pages we want to show it here, right? So for example, in this case, the route you have to define like this. Okay, then you have to define the path. Okay, so initially when we open this particular URL of our website, right, so we will give the default page, and the default page will be we have to mention in the element tag. So in this case, our default page is home, right? So I will copy it and paste it here, as simple as that. So once the page is loaded, it will default jump to the home component, right? And if I save it, I will go back to our application and just refresh it. So right now you get error, right? Go to the inspect panel, go to the console and see what error you are getting. So it's saying router is not defined. Okay, so in this case, make sure you add, oh sorry, make sure you have to add the routes. Okay, the import, you have to import the statement and make sure the route is also there. So add the routes. If you see, both the statements are imported, and now save it. Now go back to our application, just remove this console, refresh the screen, and you will see you don't see any of this is different error. We will remove that later on. But if you see, it jump to default home page, right? Because we give the path just as a slash. Okay, now another route. So if I just copy paste the same line of code, but here in this case we will say blog detail. Okay, and I want jump, once I click on this blog detail, I want to jump to blog detail page, right, which we just created. Okay, and I save it, right? Now if I go to this URL, right, I will copy this URL and I will paste it here, right? It will jump to this blog detail page, you see, right? And the page which we created is just like this. Okay, and it only contain the blog detail. Okay, this is how simple it is, the routing is. Okay, you don't need to do anything, just need to add is a two-step process, right? Just need to add the browser router in main.jsx, which you need to wrap the app in between the browser router, and then you have to define the which are the different routes you are gonna use in our application. So in this case, we are using two routes. Obviously one is the default route we need to mention, okay, and another one is the blog detail page. Now let's add the on click function. So once you click on any of the posts, we should jump to the blog detail page, right? So go to the blog.jsx where we have this blog, right? And you can add the on click function here, or you can go to the, let's go to home.jsx. We have this intro block and blocks, right? So let's go to the blocks, and here we will add the on click function. Okay, so for this div, what I will do, I will add the on click method. So let's add on click. Okay, and here I have to add the navigation, right? So we have in router provide the inbuilt hook called use navigate. So let's define that. So I will define constant navigate is equal to use navigate. Okay, make sure you input this use navigate from the React router DOM. So sorry, this is the React router DOM hooks. Okay, not a React hook. Okay, once you define this navigate, you just need simple mention the navigate, and then you have to specify the route. So okay, so in this case, if you see, right, this is our router name which you need to give some, it's nothing but a path name. Okay, so if I go to the blog.jsx, and then here I will define like this. Okay, and save everything. Now go back to our application. So I will go back to this page. I will refresh it once. Okay, and if I click on any of this page, if you see, it jumped to the blog detail page. Okay, so if I click on this one, it jumped to the blog detail page. Same thing you have to add for this blog, the intro blog as well, right? So what I will do, I will copy this on click method. Okay, and I will go to the intro post.jsx. Over here in this div, I will add this blog detail, and I make sure you will add this navigation as well. You have defined constant navigate is equal to use navigate from the React router DOM. Okay, and now if you go back, even though if I click on this one, it will go to the blog detail. Just if you see, right, the cursor pointer is not correct one. So what I will do, I will make the cursor to be pointer. Okay, and now you see, if I click, it's going back to the blog detail. Perfect. Now one more important thing, right? You need to know which ID you click or something like that, right? So you have to pass some ID of the blog, right, like this. So for example 6 or 7, right? So In order to achieve this, right, you have to make sure in the router you will pass the id of the block. So go to the app.jsx, right? In this app.jsx you have to add the id. So in order to, obviously this is the default, this is dynamic id, right? The id can be changed anytime. So in order to define like this, you have to define like slash colon and define the id, okay, like this. So this id could be 5 6 7 1 2 whatever, right? So you have to define like this. And then now if you go back to the blocks, right, over here you have to define the id, you have to pass the id, okay? So here just define slash, okay, and you have to pass the id. So in this case is item dot id, okay, that's all. And if I save it, make sure in intro post also you have to pass that one, okay? So here I will add the, here I will pass the post.id, post.id, okay, and save everything. Now go back to our application. If I click in on this, right, if you see block detail /1 is coming, okay? If I click on this third block, right, you see block detail /3 is coming, okay, perfect. Now this id we will use in order to fetch the block details, okay, from the API. There are two things, right? You can, on the click, you can pass the information directly on this page, or you can fetch the information. I will prefer to fetch the information. The reason is, right, even the user come on this particular page and search for block detail /11, it's supposed to get some information on the screen. That's the reason we will fetch the information from the API, depends on the id selection. So right now if you see, right, once you land on this block detail page, we don't have header, right? And if you see the mockup, we want the header on the block detail page, right? The similar header which we have on this front page, right? This header, okay? So in order to do that, right, in order to use the or write the same different code for the header, what we can do, go to the home.jsx, and here we have the header defined, right? Remove this header from here and go to the app.jsx and add it here like this, right? And save everything. Now go back to our application. If I click on any of this one, you see you got the header, but we don't have any padding on the screen, right? So again go back to home.jsx. If you see, right, we gave the padding in home.jsx, okay? So remove this padding. So I will remove this padding from here, right? Save it. And in app.jsx I will wrap everything in div, okay, like this. Add this padding as well and wrap this in div and save it, right? And now if you go back, you will see the change. See, even though if I go back, right, the header is still there. If I jump any of this one, you will see the header along with this block detail page, okay, perfect. Now let's implement the API call. So go back to the global API over here, right? I will paste like this, and let's say you can just mention get post by ID, right? Here you have to pass the ID. So in this case I will pass the ID like this and make it as arrow function, okay? And here you have to pass that ID. So I will just add the ID like this, okay, perfect, okay? So base error is there, block is there, just I'm passing this ID. And if you want to see the endpoint, this is how it looks, right? I'm passing the ID as a 1 and I'm getting the result, okay? All the images, blocks, details and everything, okay? Make sure you will add it here so that it can be accessible throughout the application. Now go back to block detail, right? Here if you remember, right, we are passing the ID. So in order to get that ID, right, you have to accept that ID here. So you can mention like constant, okay, then the name of the ID which we pass. So in this case is word ID is equal to use param, okay? Again this use param is from the react router DOM hook, okay? And mention like this, okay? Now in use effect, okay, we will check whether we are getting the id or not. Okay, so I will define use effect with the empty array, and I will just write the console.log id comma id. Okay, and save everything. Right, now go back to our application, go to the inspect panel, go to the console. Okay, and if you see, ignore this above error, and if you see, we got the id as a 1. Okay, perfect. Now here we are getting this key prop because let me explain that one as well. So in the blogs.jsx, right, here we iterate this particular post, but we have to define the key for each of these elements. So you can just define the key like this, and in this case I can define item.id like this. Okay, and save it. Now if I go back, okay, clean everything, go back to our application, and if I refresh it now, right, you don't see any error. Okay, now let's go back to any of this post. Now if you see, id is coming as a 1. Okay, if I go back and if I check another one, if you see, id is coming as a 2, and this is nothing but the url id. Okay, this is the parameter which we are passing. Now this id, let's go back to our blog detail page, and this id we are using in order to fetch the blog detail page, right? So here I will add new method called constant get blog by id. Okay, like this, and here you can define global api dot get post by id. Okay, and here you can define the, you can pass the id, right? You can have to pass the id dot then and accept the response. Okay, so here we will get only one response. Okay, because we are passing the id. So you can write the response as well, console.log response.data. Okay, that's all, and make sure you will call this in a use effect. Okay, like this, and save it. Now go back to our application, and here, right, if right now is at 2, and if you see, we got the data, right? So inside data we have the data attributes and all the details. Hello, see, we got the all the details, right? Now we have to map this information, the one which we map it in a maybe blog.jsx, right? Or no, not here, let me check. So over here, right, we map it, correct? So I will copy all of this code and now go to the blog details, right, and paste it here. Now here, right, instead of so we are not going to map directly because we only have the one item, right? So directly we will map it, so we don't need a word called map. So we can just define like this, result is equal to, right, like this, and this response data is nothing but the response.data we have to map. So what I will do, I will make one constant called item is equal to response.data. Okay, so it's contain item and then item.id. I think this will work. Okay, and I will remove this console from here, and I will paste it console.log result comma result. Okay, make sure the mapping is correct. So let's go back to our application, right, clean it and refresh the screen, and now if you see, we got the result, right? So we have the image, description, id, tag, title, everything. Okay, so mapping is correctly done. Now let's store this in one state. So let's add constant post comma set post is equal to use state. Okay, and what I can do, we can just pass this. Means you can set the post using the set post, and we have the post value now. Okay, so inside this post we have this fetch information. Okay, now next what you can do, we have to add the UI, right? So if you see in the UI, right, first of all we have the tag and then we have the title. Okay, so first of all we can add the tag. So inside this I will add the tag. So here you just need to define like post dot tag, that's all, and save. And if you go back, you will see this React Native See, React Native. Okay, add the all information, and then we will add the styling to this one. After this, we have the title, and then we have this user logo, the name and everything, right? So we have the title, so I will add the st tag again, post dot title. Okay, we will add this author's information later on. Okay, first after before that we will add the image and description. So after that we will add the image source. Oh, sorry, it's image source only. Okay, like this, and here you can add the post dot cover image. Okay, and then lastly we have post dot description. Okay, and save everything. Now go back to our application and make sure everything is coming up. You see, everything is there. Okay, now let's give some styling according to this one. Correct. So now first of all, add styling to this tag. So here we'll get class name, and we'll say the text red. Sorry, text red 500, right? Like this. And I will change the font size as well to 16px and save it. Let's see how it looks. I think this is okay. Then if you see the title is in bold color and the font is a little bit bigger. Okay, I think change to 14. Then I will add the class name. Okay, first of all I will add the text size to 30 pixel. Then I will make the font to be bold, so you have to write font bold, and then save it. Let's see how it looks. So let's see, it look good. Just I will decrease the size little bit, so I will decrease to 26. Okay, and this is 26 is I think okay. Okay, let's decrease little bit, like 23. Okay, then we have the cover image. Okay, and if you see, right, we want everything to be in the center, right? We are putting some padding from the x-axis. So what I will do for this div, right, class name, and I will give some padding from the x-axis to 20. Okay, okay, 20. Let's see how it looks. Okay, and this is much better. Okay, even though if I decrease the size, right, it looks perfectly fine. Okay, when the screen size is much smaller, we can minimize the size. So what I can do, I will add this pixel 20 on medium size screen, and if the smaller size screen, add the 10. And if you see, maybe 6 only, and this is okay. Okay, also we will give some padding from the margin top, means we will give the margin from the top. So here you can say margin top to maybe 10. Okay, perfect. Okay, and I want to decrease the size of this much smaller, maybe 20. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, now let's add some height and width for this image. So first of all, add the class name, and here I will round it the corner, so I will round it to 2xl. Okay, and if you see, right, if you see the mockup, we have the rounded corner. So also rounded corner for this one, and I will use some margin from the top to be 5 and margin bottom to be 5. Okay, or you can give margin y actually. Okay, that will also work for you. And if I remove this one, if you see, it's perfectly fine, but it still is not in center. And let's add some styling. So if the screen size is medium, we give the padding x to 20, but if screen size is larger, we can give padding x to the maybe a 35. maybe 36, and let's see how it looks. Okay, this is, I think, okay. Maybe more I want to give. Let's say 56. Okay, like this. This is, I think, okay. Okay, and make sure this image it will be in the center. Okay, or you can do this width to be full. So let's say width to be full. Okay, like this. And I think this is perfectly fine, right? This look good to me. And if I decrease the screen size, obviously it will match the width and height. Okay, see. Okay, also padding is changed depend on the uh, screen size as well, right? And everything is look good. Now the next part we have to change the layout of this one. Okay, if you see our mockup, how structurized this will be, right? And the same way we have to add for this particular description. Now next, if you see, the description is not in the format, right? The correct format which we want. And if you see the star is coming, the reason is in the strappy, uh, here, right? In the strappy, we have the rich text formatter. Okay, and if you preview the code, this is how it's supposed to be look like. Okay, and right now it's look like this only, the plain HTML text. Okay, so in order to update this one, right, we are going to use this React Markdown library. Okay, this is third party library which help us to export or to style the given HTML, okay, in the correct format. So it's very easy to use. Just you need to install this dependency, and once you install this dependency, you have to write this particular line of code. Okay, so I already installed that dependency. If you did not install, just go ahead and install that particular dependency. Okay, and over here you just need to add this React Markdown tag, and in the tag you have to provide children as the post dot description. Okay, so this is the children property of the React Markdown where you have to provide the data which you want to display, and here you can provide escape HTML, something like this, right? Also, added this Tailwind CSS styling. The leading line is nothing but the height, okay, line height. If you go to the Tailwind CSS official website and search for the line height in the CSS, you will see this class name. Okay, so right now I gave leading line. Okay, so it gave the space between the two lines. Okay, and I save everything. I will remove this line of code from here. And now if you go back to our application, you will see the formatted data. You see, now everything is formatted. Some of the text is bold. Okay, and if you see this, our see our code. Okay, if you go to the preview mode, this is how it looks. Okay, so it's quite easy, and make sure you will use the React Markdown. Okay, and that's all. Next, if you see our mockup, right, we have this TubeGuruji and everything, this author information, everything, right? So we already have this component. So let's go back here. Maybe go to the blog.jsx, and here we have this component, right? This particular one. I'll copy all of these things. Go to the blog details, and after title, I will paste it like this. Okay. I don't think so anything we need to import. This is because this is totally a purely hard coded value. Okay, and now if you see, I'm getting this particular author information as well. Okay, and it is quite similar to this our mockup. Okay, so everything is ready on the screen. Okay, now go back to the home screen. Okay, you will see the footer over here, but if you go any of this block, you don't see footer. The reason is you need to remove the footer from the home.jsx, and you have to paste it in the app.jsx, the same thing which we did for the header, right? So I will paste it here like this and save it. Now if you see, okay, make sure you will import this footer. Okay, so import the footer, and now I open any of this one. Okay, you'll see the footer like this. Okay, if you don't want it padding to the footer, you can put this footer outside of this div. Okay, like this, for example, if you put like this, it will work. See, perfect. Okay, also now this home button, about us, contact us, is not working right now, right? Now if you want to click on the home button, it's supposed to go on the home page, correct? So go to the header, okay, and for this home, right, you can put the on click method, and here you can navigate to the home page. So here, first of all, define the navigate is equal to use navigate, which need to be which will import it from the React router DOM, and use this navigate to the home screen, right? So let's save it, let's test it. Click home, it will go to the home page, okay. And as I say, this is fully responsive, okay. Even though if I change the screen size, see it how it looks, right? If I open any of this one, it open and this fully responsive. Even though if you go to the mobile view or any iPad view, it's fully responsive, depends on your screen size. I hope you understand all of these things, okay. If you have any question, any doubts or anything, put it in the comment section, or you can DM me on my Instagram channel. So now, if you see, right, we have this filter option, but right now it's not working. So let's implement the feature to filter out this particular posts, okay. So first of all, let's go to search.jsx. Here we have all the tags, okay, which we are using. So in this on click method, right, you can add one more method here, so like this, and you can set selected tag value, right? And here you can pass the name of the tag. So in this case, name is item.name, okay. And this selected tag will pass back to the parent component, okay. So this is how you have to do. You have to pass the value. That value you have to pass it in this props, and in the home.jsx you have to accept it here, right? So same name you have to use it, and then you can define like this, right? So in this case, if you want to console it, you can console and just make sure that you are getting the correct value. So I will write tag and save it, right? Now if you go back to our application, if I click on any of this particular filter, right, you will see React. If I select the Angular, then Angular is displaying, okay. Now this value, the tag name we are using in order to filter out this particular post, right? So I will write one method called filter post is equal to, I will accept the tag value here and arrow function. So instead of this console.log, what I will do, I will just call this filter post and I will pass this tag value, okay. And now we are getting tag value here. Now we have to use this post in order to filter the value. Here I will do one more state, okay. So I will say original post and set original post like this, okay. Original post, set original post. Then this set original post will contains all these posts, okay. So here you just use to set the set original post, okay. So make sure very initially in the set post you will set all the result which we are getting from the API, right? Now here you can define constant result is equal to, you will filter it on the set original post, okay. So set original post dot filter, and you can filter on the item dot tag, which is equal to the tag. So if the item dot tag is equal to tag, then only it will store and filter and store in the result, okay. And then you set post value to set the value for the post, okay, and save it. Now if you go back to our application, okay, and if I click React, right, you get any some filter is not a function set, okay. So here instead of set original post, we have to use original post, okay, like this. And now save it. Go back, refresh the screen once, okay. Now if I click on React, if you see only two post is coming, okay. If I click on React Native, only three post is coming, means this is the same post, okay. In Angular we don't have any post. UI UX we don't have in post. If I click on React again, will show React. But if I click on all, we don't have anything for all, right? So here we have to add a condition. If tag value is equal to all, right, we have to set post original post. So original post contain all the posts, right? We'll say return nothing. Okay. Now if you see, click React, only two posts, React Native, and if I click all, we'll see all the posts. Okay. I hope you understand this one. So this filter is working now. So we pretty much completed our blog website. Okay, and everything is ready to deploy on the web server. So if you don't know how to deploy the React or Vite application on the Vercel or a share hosting, you can watch these two video where it explain how to deploy on Vercel and also how to deploy on share hosting. So guys, that's all for this particular video. I hope you understand how to create the blog using the React and the Tailwind CSS. And if you did not subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and press like button, share with your friends and family. And in the next video, if you really are looking for how to add the loading shimmer effect when we are calling the API, right? That time we can show the shimmer effect. So that effect we can also show. So if you really want that tutorial, please comment down in the comment section, and just type shimmer in the comment section, and that's all. Okay, so until that time, see you in next video.